There is a 30-year-old mystery that continues to disturb soldiers and people who have come into contact with it. The Bulgarian army spent 2 years digging the foothills of the Balkan Mountains in this location and then abruptly stopped the excavation, trying to conceal all evidence. These events took place in a small village in Bulgaria called Tsarichina, located approximately 30 kilometers northwest of the capital city, Sofia. Until 30 years ago, Tsarichina was a place unknown to most Bulgarians, let alone foreigners. However, this changed on December 6, 1990, when the Bulgarian Ministry of Defense announced that they believed a treasure chest was buried in Tsarichina village and that they would undertake a project to find it. According to a legend passed down by Tsarichina villagers for centuries, the leader of the First Bulgarian Empire, Tsar Samuel, had buried a large amount of gold near the village before going to war with Byzantium. This rumor spurred the Bulgarian Ministry of Defense into action, at least according to their official statement. On December 6th, the Bulgarian army cordoned off the village and began an operation codenamed Sunlight. Colonel Konev was assigned to lead the operation, and it was his responsibility to find and recover the lost treasure. Once the area was secured on December 6th, Colonel Konev ordered his men to dig a deep hole into the earth. Initially, everything went smoothly, but in the following days, all the electrical equipment brought by the soldiers started malfunctioning in a strange way. Additionally, there was a risk of the hole flooding due to an underground lake nearby. Since the excavators and electrical tools were not working properly, the workers had to resort to using shovels and pickaxes, causing the excavation process to deviate from the original plan. After descending approximately 6 meters, they encountered a thick layer of stone that the shovels and pickaxes couldn't penetrate. In response, Colonel Konev ordered the use of explosives to break through the barrier, revealing a mysterious spiral passage leading underground. A military unit prepared to explore and venture into the tunnels, but breaking the barrier triggered something, leading to unexplained incidents. In the following days, almost every infantry guarding the excavation area reported seeing mysterious figures and creatures moving just beyond the fences. Some soldiers even claimed that these monsters were at least 2 meters tall, while others reported seeing small figures not exceeding half a meter in height amid the screams. The machinery and vehicles within the perimeter suffered inexplicable malfunctions, and even the radio equipment in the area broke down. It was discovered that sending radio signals from inside or outside the work zone was impossible. As a result, a telephone line was installed from a nearby village to the command center for communication purposes. However, the operators assigned to use this telephone line complained about hearing strange whispers in the background of their conversations, finding it highly disturbing. As time passed, soldiers descended into the spiral tunnels and started exploring them. But this only made things worse because unidentified flying objects started appearing in the surrounding area. Although these objects differed in appearance, they all emitted a bright light and emitted flames as they circled the sky. Moreover, the strangeness observed in the area didn't stop there. In June 1992, 19 months after the excavation began, a local resident named Kalo was awakened by his dog barking outside his house. When he opened the front door, he saw 3 dark figures hastily retreating from the direction of the excavation. These figures entered a nearby wooded area and disappeared, rising into the sky accompanied by a bright white light. Kalo, who was horrified by what he saw, reported the matter to the colonel. As a result, a small military unit was sent to the location where the 3 figures were last seen, or rather, where they had found a misplaced patch of soil in a circular shape. A few days after this incident, the soldiers sent to the excavation site became so weak that they collapsed into their beds. However, compared to the events that would unfold later, this incident was nothing. On the evening of November 27, 1991, a villager named Trash was sitting at home when he saw a bright light approaching him from the sky, growing larger. He was exposed to this light and subsequently fainted. The next morning when he woke up, he realized that he couldn't remember the past few hours. But the interesting part was that Trash found himself in Meshtitsa village, 65 kilometers south of his home. He had no idea how he got there. The soldiers who had been researching the tunnels for 2 years finally found something. What they found was a large polished stone slab that was obstructing the progress of the tunnel. Believing that there was something behind the slab, the soldiers destroyed it and discovered a circular room with walls similar to mirrors. At the far end of this room stood a strange skeleton fused with a rock, and when the soldiers found the room, the colonel himself was also there. The first thing he noticed was the strange symbols resembling hieroglyphs beneath the shiny stone surface on the wall. As the soldiers advanced towards the center of the strange room, they realized they were being hindered by an invisible barrier. In fact, some soldiers were severely injured due to the barrier, but what happened in the room afterwards remains unknown. Nevertheless, the soldiers quickly withdrew through the tunnels and destroyed the entry point, pouring concrete everywhere. All records related to the operation were concealed from the public, as Bulgaria was experiencing an economic crisis at the time and had spent $20 million on this operation, only to find themselves in great astonishment and destitution with no significant gains. Since there were no official records explaining what lay beneath the soil of Tsarichina, researchers had to engage with the local community and gather their testimonies. One of the individuals they spoke to was Colonel Kanev himself, who managed the operation and witnessed the room in the tunnel. Colonel Kanev admitted that the lost treasure story was a cover-up. He revealed that the individuals who directed them to the village of Tsarichina were a group of psychics and people with clairvoyant abilities, and the military went there in search of an object referred to as the first object. He also mentioned that some soldiers were exposed to a mysterious bacterium and died, while others were teleported around the excavation site. Furthermore, some soldiers were found fused with the surrounding rocks. One of the psychics mentioned earlier, named Genova, claimed that the being residing inside the buried object in Tsarichina was one of humanity's oldest ancestors. Moreover, she alleged that Hitler had been searching for it during World War II and attacked the Soviets in an attempt to find it. Another source of information about the sunlight operation comes from the writings of Professor Neplatonov, a military officer. Neplatonov stated that before undertaking the mission, they were warned by the famous prophet Baba Vanga not to disturb the entity beneath Tsarichina. However, we cannot determine the accuracy of these claims, as the sunlight operation remained shrouded in secrecy. Therefore, we may never learn the truth of what transpired.